This is Jeff Peterson,
Chris Grafeo,
the Council of Beards, aka Njord Outdoor, and we're here for a little fireside chat. So we thought that anytime we have like a philosophical thing or a theoretical thing to talk about, light up the old fire and chat it out, because it gives us something to focus on besides our ugly mugs. A little action in the background, if you will, a little bit of ambiance. Got to make it that romantic kind of thing going on. So we wanted to make this video to talk about who we are, what we're gonna do, and what our plans are for 2019. So I guess
where do we start?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. So Chris and I hunted last year for the first time, all season. We probably started in June, July.
Well, not the first time hunting, but first time hunting together.
Right. Actually, that's a good point. So why don't you explain a little bit of your backstory, and I'll do mine, and then we'll take it from there.
So I'm from upstate New York originally. I spent a lot of time hunting whitetail, and I know a lot of you guys are like, well, that's not hard to do. You just kind of go out there with a gun and shoot whatever comes by. I've taken some whitetails. I've tried my hand at turkey. I've done some archery out there as well, and I wasn't very successful with that. But with shotgun deer, I did pretty well.
So how many have you taken?
I think it was 3 doe and 1 spike with a 12 gauge.
1 spike. The spike is definitely the good one.
Nice and tender.
Nice and tender. So what other kind of outdoor experience do you have besides just the hunting?
Yeah, so my background, I actually have degrees in environmental studies and recreation resource management and all that. Yeah, so I spent the last 10 years living in our national forests and doing work as like a park ranger, doing work in our recreation spaces and kind of developing recreation opportunities throughout Oregon to help people get out, enjoy it more.
Good deal. So I, similar kind of background, lived all over the country, a lot of time on the East Coast and Pennsylvania and New York and Virginia, a lot of time down in Texas, time on the West Coast, kind of all over the place. I grew up doing a lot more backpacking and camping than hunting. My dad hunts, and he's pretty good. He's taken some stuff, but he's just not his thing. He's a big mountaineer. We spent a lot of time on the Appalachian Trail. I've hiked all of Virginia and Maryland and most of Pennsylvania and a couple other smatterings of places.
Have you been to the further up north a little bit, or?
No, I haven't done anything further north than some little pockets in upstate New York. I haven't made it up to Maine or down into Georgia or any of those places.
It gets real pretty up there.
No, it's a gorgeous trail. I've also done a lot of other hiking, the Washita Trail in Oklahoma. Just a bunch of stuff, a lot of peaks and things like that. So I'm very, very fluent in the out of doors and backpacking and kind of the whole ultralight thing. And we also used to have land in Oklahoma when we lived in North Texas, and I did a lot of bushcraft and primitive stuff where I'd go up for the summer and fish and make shelters and lean-tos on our property and do stuff. And I've also taken some hog and whitetail deer down in Texas, as well as rabbits and squirrels and other small game. And I've got a bit more fishing background than you. You're not much of a fisherman.
Well, I did a lot of fishing on the Finger Lakes.
Yeah.
Out in Juanita Lake.
What do you fish for there, like trout?
It's mostly like largemouth bass, bluegills, and there was the occasional. I don't remember exactly what they're called, pikes or. It's like this long, crazy fish with a million teeth inside.
Death noodle fish.
Yeah, it's a death noodle. I never caught any of those. My grandpa always did. So, yeah, but mostly like large and smallmouth bass and bluegills, what we pulled out of there.
Gotcha. So for my fishing stuff, I grew up on reservoirs in Texas and did a lot of bass, a lot of catfish, a lot of bluegill, gar, which are another kind of crazy death noodle.
Oh yeah.
So I did a lot of that, and then since I moved out here to Oregon, I've done a fair bit of salmon and steelhead fishing, some sturgeon fishing, which is a blast. Chasing those dinosaurs is great. A little bit of fishing on the jetty out of the coast. That's pretty much covers the clamming, crabbing. There's a lot of opportunity out here
I've done a bunch of fly fishing unsuccessfully, but I've done it.
No, I think we've all tried to do that, and it's a lot harder than it looks. I will stick to worms and eggs. So that being said, that's kind of our resume. Now you'll notice on that resume, you didn't hear a lot about Western hunting. So that's what we did this last year. So we met this last summer. Our significant others worked together, and we met at a little party, lighting a fire, actually, as it were, because we didn't know anybody else, and we were just trying to take up some time and do something productive. So we made the fire. Well, we hit it off, and we started doing some scouting, and we spent a ton of time together. Probably, what was it, 18, 19 days total this season for elk, like during the elk season, actively chasing elk.
I think I reported 18, and then plus 2 for deer.
Right, plus some days for deer and just general, outdoorsy activities. But yeah, we spent a ton of time together chasing elk, which is our
kind of
passion.
Focus,
Yeah,
right?
it's our focus. Yeah, it's hard to say it's like your passion when you actually haven't gotten one yet.
Well, and specifically archery elk.
Specifically archery elk, which is nice here in Oregon. He's had a big, month-long season. So that's what we were doing predominantly, was chasing elk, and that's what we're gonna keep doing this year for 2019. So we spent a ton of time in the field. We learned a lot of stuff, but we were just ultimately didn't bag any animals. I did have the cool cougar encounter.
Yep. Well, we had a couple opportunities. We called a couple in. We saw a lot of herds.
Mm-hmm.
They're mostly cows. I think we saw one spike.
Right.
But no legal bulls.
Right. Well, the area we were hunting was you needed to have a bull. Couldn't take a spike in that unit. So.
And everything else we called in and either spooked off or somebody we were with made some sort of mistake and whatever. But it's all a learning process, and really I don't think we would be as confident going into this season had we not made those mistakes.
Right, which brings us to great segue. Good work, gold star for you. That's what we want to do for 2019. We learned it with a lot of trial and error, and we were scouring the web looking for stuff. This guy says you want this tip weight on your arrows. This guy says you want that. You got to have this speed. You want to use this tactic. Whatever the case was, there was a lot of conflicting advice, which is just going to be the way it is. But
especially with archery.
And then on top of that, we just didn't really know what we didn't know. So we feel like we're in a unique place to help everybody, you guys, with your upcoming hunting seasons and fishing and other outdoor endeavors. Whereas we're experienced enough to not die. I mean, we're not going to be like, hey, we're going to go out in the woods and do this thing, and then next thing you know, you heard about us on Channel 2 because we got eaten by whatever. But on the other hand, we're still learning, so we're not so experienced that we've kind of forgotten our roots. We've forgotten little things. That's something that really frustrates me with some other content, is just trying to you're just going to you're just going to walk up this mountain and there's an elk there? Oh, that's awesome. How did you know that was going to be there? Because I'll tell you, when I walk up mountains, I don't find elk. So we're going to start really in something in the Marines we used to call was breaking it down Barney style. We're going to make it stupid simple. We're going to start at the basics where you're going to watch it and be like, yeah, dude, I graduated 5th grade. Like, I got this.
You're gonna learn with us.
You're gonna learn with us. Yeah, that's our
the whole
point.
point of this.
We're not experts. Don't say, hey, Jeff and Chris said do this, so it's gospel. No. Yeah. Jeff and Chris are going to do this, and when you watch us fail, you will learn that that's not what you want to do.
Exactly.
You can scratch that one off the list of things that seemed like a good idea and really weren't. So yeah, we're just gonna. What are we gonna chase this year? What's our main quarry?
Elk. I'm 1,000% into the elk. I got a new bow. I got a new setup. I got a new arrow weight. Mm-hmm. I'm a compound guy. You're a trad guy.
Yeah.
So we've got some good content for both sides. Mm-hmm. And I'm running a little bit more, a little bit less traditional with my compound. I'm doing heavier arrows, heavier front of center. I think I'm going to run 175 broadheads.
100 grain outserts. Yep.
So, my total arrow weight is going to be around 600 grains.
Right.
Which is not traditional for, we're talking, at least my understanding of it is compounds are generally light, fast, precision. But we're going to try to get a little bit more weight behind it, a little bit more bone breaking, and hopefully, 2 holes are better than 1.
Right. No, that is the philosophy. I've leaked a little bit of my thoughts into him because I like to come at it like fat bearded Miley Cyrus. I'm going to come in like a wrecking ball and I'm going to destroy whatever's going to happen. So we're going to get him with the speed and the power, but with a heavier arrow. But we'll get into that later. We're going to do a lot of in-depth stuff. Yeah. So stuff you can expect from us, real basic stuff. Where you can hunt, how you can hunt, licensing. Stupid basics. Areas, e-scouting, how to scout on the field, what we've learned, what we're going to try, experiment.
Yeah, and a large part of what kept me from hunting while I've been in Oregon up until recently is I didn't realize that you can just go onto public land.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that could be a large part of what could help is understanding where you can go, where you can't go, what, you know, does this post mean something? Are these signs really something? Is this private land? All that. We'll show you some of the tools we use to compete, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So on top of the basic logistical stuff, we're going to talk about gear. I'm a gear aficionado. He is too, but we're both guys that have significant others. In my case, I have a kid. We don't have just, you know, buku bucks to make all the gear happen. So we have some chintzy stuff that we're rocking, and so you can see, hey, you know, maybe this is something you spend some money on. You want to spend money on your bow. You want to spend money on your boots. Maybe you go a little cheaper on something else and you make it happen. So we'll discuss a lot of the gear choices and stuff that we make. The actual gear, you know, we got a compound, we got trad bow, so we're going to be able to see how you're tuning different setups, different tactics for different things.
Yep. Well, and we have a good opportunity since I just got the compound. We'll be able to take you guys through brand new compound, tuning it up, getting everything set up, and then being ready to go. So that'll be a good opportunity.
Yeah, so we're going to have a lot to cover. I mean, this is stuff that you guys are going to want to see. So you're going to want to hit the subscribe button below. You're going to want to tune in for all that. Mash it if you so dare, as most people would say. And just follow us on Instagram at NjordOutdoor.com. We'll actually cover a video on why it's Njord Outdoor, which is its own special, unique thing. Let's give you a little hint. It's a little Viking action. I don't know if you caught a little bit of that. So yeah, do all that. Subscribe, follow us, tune in. You're going to get a lot of good stuff.
And we'd love to hear your input as well, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely drop comments. What you need. Hey man, I have not been able to figure this out. Please tell me what I need to do, how to fix my life here, because I can't do it. You know, send us your comments, carrier pigeons, smoke signals, whatever. I don't know how to read a smoke signal, but you can send it. So yeah. You got anything else for our fine friends out there?
No, that should be about it for me. Just let us know what we need and what you want covered, and we'll try to help you out with it. But again, you know, understanding that we're coming at it at a pretty novice level and planning to grow as we go.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. So until then, shoot straight, skull.